Hoy voy a reaccionar a 101 Facts About Puerto Rico. ¿Por qué lo dije como un pinche americano? No lo sé, no, tanto amor por los americanos, Y pues, he reaccionado hace un par de años a 80 curiosidades sobre Puerto Rico, pero solo había reaccionado a las primeras 40. He creado un poquito de debate diciendo que no me caían demasiado bien cuando viajé a Puerto Rico a los coquís, pero bueno, dale, solo era una queja, los italianos nos quejamos todos. La verdad que me encantan los coquí. Y pues muchos me han dicho, tenés que reaccionar a la segunda parte, che, también. Y pues nada, iba a hacerlo, ¿no? Después de años, porque no me gusta dejar las cosas hechas a mitad. Y pues cuando he ido a buscar el enlace del video original por hacer la segunda parte, el video, ¿qué pasó? No estaba más. Puede ser que tuve problemas con YouTube o el tipo que hizo el video lo borró. No sé, puede haber pasado de todo. Entonces he buscado otros videos parecidos, ¿no? De ese concepto en español. No habían. Bueno, habían, pero no me convencían demasiado. Esto lo conozco porque también tengo un canal inglés que se llama Mauro, que es mi nombre. Lo podéis encontrar muy bien si hablas inglés y os gustan los vídeos en inglés también. Y este canal lo he relacionado muchas veces. El chico es muy divertido. Y parece que los subtítulos en español con el traducido en... Sí, traducido en español del inglés, esos de YouTube automáticos son bastante buenos. Entonces dale, sin gastar tiempo, vamos a ver el video.
Greetings, motherfuckers, and welcome to this week's edition of 101 Facts. My name is Sam, and today we're looking at a tropical island with a rich and storied history, with every different flavour of environment you could possibly have, really. No, not the Isle of Wight. Maybe someday. We're talking Puerto Rico. But where in Puerto Rico would actually be a
La Isla del Tesoro. Me encantaba ese libro cuando estaba pequeño.
Extreme holiday destination. Where in Puerto Rico does the sea glow? And why? Also, is it true this channel has some kind of announcement to make in the coming weeks? Who could say? 2 out of 3 of those questions are going to be answered. So, let's visit somewhere that's part of the US but isn't a state. So it's not one of the main parts of the US, but it still has some US laws and is sort of governed by the US as well. Confusing, isn't it? But anyway, it's pretty, so let's talk about it with 101 facts about Puerto Rico. Number 1. Puerto Rico is a Caribbean island and an unincorporated territory of the United States of America. Now that means that Puerto Rico has fundamental rights that apply as law. However, other various constitutional rights don't apply. It's confusing, strap in. Number
He reaccionado a un video que lo explica bastante bien, Os voy a dejar el enlace al final de este video, ¿no? Así pueden verlo también. Muy, muy bueno, que explica por qué es un territorio de Estados Unidos, Puerto Rico,
2. Puerto Rico is an archipelago, meaning it's a group of islands. So I sort of lied just a second ago. Sorry.
Ah, ¿cómo era? Culebra, ¿no? La otra isla, la más famosa.
The main 3 islands, Puerto Rico, which is confusingly named, Culebra and Vieques, are where the people live. The rest are pretty much uninhabited.
¿No era Culebra?
Number 3. Puerto Rico is the smallest island in the Greater Antilles, and it takes on an almost rectangular shape. Out of all the Greater Antilles islands, Puerto Rico is the farthest to the east, between the Dominican Republic and the US Virgin Islands. No.
Espera, no sale... Ah, espera. Vamos a ponerlo un poquito más grande, ¿no? Vamos a ponerlo más grande. Así, mejor.
Number 4. Several languages are spoken in Puerto Rico, however the main official languages are Spanish and English. Also, you can run into people who mix them both together in a language known as Spanglish. Number 5.
Spanglish, me encanta.
Despite English being a key language in Puerto Rico, only around 20% of its people can speak it fluently. This doesn't disregard the fact...
¡No! Bueno, espero que los subtítulos sean buenos bastante. Ay, Dios mío, quiero aprender el Spanglish. Si tienen un buen video para reaccionar y aprender Spanglish, me encantaría.
That most people can speak it, it's just that they can't speak it at an advanced level.
Ah, es
Number 6. The population
Yo tampoco.
of Puerto Rico is around 3.3 million people, with the most dense populations being the city of San Juan and Bayamon. The majority follow Christian religions, with 70% of them being Roman Catholics. Number 7. Regarding ethnicity in Puerto Rico, approximately 80.5% are white folks with Spanish origin, 8% are black, 0.2% are Asian, and 10.9% are...
¿Por qué entonces cuando yo fui a Puerto Rico todos me hablaban en inglés? Me veo muy americano, no me veo puertorriqueño, no me veo boricua por nada. Por favor, dale, eso es muy humillante.
Mysterious. Number 8. The island was created by a volcanic eruption due to Puerto Rico lying on the boundary of the Caribbean and North American plates, as in the ones underground, not just, dinner plates. So when those two plates shifted, it caused a massive earthquake, caused an eruption, and then formed the island. Number 9. Huge
muy interesante.
rascal, Christopher Columbus and his lieutenant Juan Ponce de Leon, I mean that is a funny name, founded the island on November the 19th, 1493. It was then under Spanish rule for over 400 years. Number 10. Columbus originally called Puerto Rico San Juan Batista, in honor of St. John the Baptist. San Juan Batista, no relation to Dave Batista, was renamed to Puerto Rico in 1521, which means rich port in Spanish, because of all the gold that could be found in its river and streams.
Ah, no lo sabía.
Before
Siempre lo hace eso, con Eleven de Stranger Things. Siempre lo hace.
this, the local indigenous people, known as the Taino Indians, called Puerto Rico
Los taínos, eso lo aprendí escuchando Calle 3,
Bolican. This translates to Land of the Valiant and Noble Lord. Admittedly, the first one's snappier. Number 12. By the way, the remains of Juan Ponce de Leon, I mean, it is a funny name, are still in Puerto Rico, resting inside a tomb in the San Juan Cathedral. Number 13. Anyway, during 1814, the Real Cédula de Gracias, a piece of legislation, not a person, opened Puerto Rico's economy to a variety of trades. This included lower tariffs and resulted in an increase in population and trade with the United States. Look at me talking about trade. What am I, a boring prequel to an otherwise beloved sci-fi saga? Number 14. In 1890, William Seward, the former Secretary of State under President Lincoln, planned to purchase Puerto Rico and Cuba for $160 million from Spain. What an entirely reasonable goal. Although Spain rejected that offer and ended up losing Puerto Rico anyway in the Spanish-American War. Look at what you could have won, lads. Number 15. It was in 1898 when the Spanish gave up Puerto Rico to the US under the 1898 Treaty of Paris, which ended the Spanish-American War. Although it was only in 1917, a little over 100 years ago, when Puerto Rico...
Tenemos que reaccionar a eso. La verdad que no sé casi nada de esa guerra hispanoamericana. Debe ser muy interesante. Podríamos hacer una serie de vídeos sobre eso. Sí hay buenos vídeos para reaccionar.
Rico became a US territory and its people became US citizens. Number 16. Weirdly, in 1898, the United States changed the island's name to Puerto Rico. However, in 1931, it was then changed back to Puerto Rico, even though most people probably do say Puerto Rico, like the plebs we are.
Yeah, in italiano se dice Puerto Rico.
Back while it was Puerto Rico in 1900, the island was put under something called the Foraker Act, meaning that all federal laws of the states existed on the island too. That had a bit of a warm-up, changing laws overnight. It's not going to go well, is it? Number 18. After the United States defeated Spain in the Spanish-American War in 1917, Puerto Rico became an island within the territory of the United States. In case you were wondering, it has the status of Commonwealth, along with a legal and political status, but it's still below a state. But otherwise, mind your business. Number 19. To even further push America's control over the local power, the Olmsted Act was created, which gave the US president a direct role in decision-making in Puerto Rican affairs. Number 20. During 1917, the Jones Act was put in place to amend the Foraker Act by establishing triple tax-exempt bonds. That means, by the way, that all bonds issued by the government of Puerto Rico shall be exempt from taxation. Number 21. During 1928, Puerto Rico suffered greatly during the Great Depression. Something made way worse due to the following natural disasters: the San Felipe II hurricane in 1928 and the 1932 San Cyprian hurricane. Very much a wind-based 1-2 punch there. Number 22.
Da mucho miedo
Following
eso
the
de los
disasters in
huracanes.
1933, the Puerto Rican Emergency Relief Administration was created to combat the destruction by the San Ciprian hurricane that killed 257 people and injured over 4,820
Esos
of them.
huracanes son
Number
muy...
23.
Ay, Dios
On May the
mío.
28th, 1935, President Roosevelt contributed to the restoration of Puerto Rico by introducing the Puerto Rican Reconstruction Administration, or the PRRA. I know, lots of administrations going on here, but they seem to be pretty good. They provided agricultural development and supported the electrification of the island, as in the power, not in like a, electrified floor way. Number 24. The first person to be the Puerto Rican governor was Jesus T. Pinheiro. He was elected. Oh wait, no, he wasn't elected. He was, in 1946, appointed by President Harry S. Truman, but under the promise that the people could actually vote on a governor 2 years later. Number 25. In 1950, Puerto Rico took on the name Estado Libre Asociado, which translates to Free Associated State. This is Puerto Rico's official Spanish name, by the way. Number 26. The
¿En
currency used in
serio?
Puerto
¿En serio?
Estado Libre Asociado,
Estado Libre Asociado de Puerto Rico. Eso es el nombre real.
which translates to Free Associated State. This is Puerto Rico's official Spanish name, by the way. Number 26. The currency used in Puerto Rico is the US dollar. Even though the US dollar has been the official currency for over a century now, $1 is sometimes also referred to as a peso.
Es verdad, Estado Libre Asociado de Puerto Rico. Wow. No lo sabía.
So, like their old currency, and quarters as pesetas. Number 27. One of the benefits of the United States' influence over Puerto Rico is that US travelers do not need a passport to enter the island. So hey, if you're from Chicago or one of those other American places, there's a couple of them, leave your passport at home, buddy. Number 28. However, even though Puerto Ricans are US citizens, they can't vote in US presidential elections. You need to be in one of the 50 states to vote. Confusing? Yeah. Number 29. The largest shopping center in the Caribbean can be found in Puerto Rico. It's the Plaza Las Americas. Plaza Las Americas is also the first indoor shopping mall built in Puerto Rico, and it was established on the 3rd of September 1968. Number 30. Plaza Las Americas is also one of the most profitable malls per square foot in the world, and opened the first Caribbean branch of Macy's. It even has a museum of
Hay muchos de esos malls en Puerto Rico, eso me lo acuerdo. Muchísimos.
Dayton of all things inside,
Demasiados.
opened by Daddy Yankee himself. Puerto Rican Museum.
No, ¿cuándo lo abrió? Nunca fui al museo de... No, quiero volver a Puerto Rico solo por ver el museo de reggaetón. Ay, me encanta el reggaetón.
That doesn't mean, like the president of the US or something. Number 31. Even though Puerto Rico is an American territory, it competes as a separate nation in the Olympics. I mean, get it straight, guys. They've competed since 1948 and have won 2 gold, 2 silver, and 6 bronze medals during their Olympic history.
Eso es muy bueno.
Number 32. San Juan is home to the Bacardi Rum Factory, also known as the largest rum distillery in the world. They produce more than 100,000 litres of rum every single day, and even do rum tasting tours, and I've worked...
Bacardi es de Puerto Rico. No. Ahora quiero reaccionar a un video que nos dice todas las cosas que son de Puerto Rico, las invenciones, la marca, todo eso. Increíble, no sabía que Bacardi era de Puerto Rico.
Next vacation is at Center Park from Puerto Rico. I don't like rum. Number 33.
No me gusta... Ay, Dios mío. Me confundo. Me confundo. Tengo que pensar en demasiados idiomas cuando hablo. No, a mí me gusta el ron si es en un cóctel, ¿no? Como piña colada, Cuba Libre. Eso sí, me encanta. Y el ron Bacardi es de los mejores. Sí. También el Habana, pero el Bacardi me gusta un poquito más. No sé por qué. Sí. Pero solo tomar ron así. Pero eso del Malibu, eso de con coco, ¿no? Malibu. Leche de coco, creo. Eso es muy bueno, me gusta. Pero no puedo tomar mucho de eso porque es demasiado dulce. Pero sí, es mejor.
It's probably not a huge surprise then that the national drink of Puerto Rico is pina colada, and it was created in Old San Juan in 1954.
Pina colada.
The Puerto Rican bartender mixed a fruity blend of rum, coconut cream, and pineapple juice to make what we now know as a pina colada. Number 34. The San Juan Bautista, full name the Cathedral Basilica Metropolitana de San Juan Bautista, is one of the oldest cathedrals in the world.
Fui allá.
It began construction all the way back in the 1520s and was finished in 1540. The year, not like minutes, because otherwise that's fast. Number 35. San Juan is the home port for many cruise ships and is one of the busiest cruise ship ports in the world. Short, simple, to the point. Number 36. During the 1500s, the Catholic Church played a key role in Puerto Rico. In 1519, Pope Leo X declared Puerto Rico as the first ecclesiastical headquarters for the Spanish Church in the New World. Number 37. The national animal for Puerto Rico is the coquí tree frog. The frog is native to the island and you'll most likely...
Amo el coquí, perdón puertorriqueños, perdón. Es un poco, no sé. Hay esa melodía cada vez que sales por la calle o abres tus ventanas, pero sí, dale, mira cómo está chido. Ay, Dios mío, tan tierno este coquí,
Hear it during the late afternoon or at night time. A distinct feature it has when compared to other frogs is that it does not have webbed feet, nor is it married to a pig. Number 38. One of the most influential Puerto Rican politicians from the past is Luis Muñoz Marin, as he was governor for 16 years. That's 4 four-year terms, which is the longest time someone has served as a governor for. Number 39.
Wow,
the world's
really?
largest single-dish radio telescope is in the Arecibo Observatory.
Ay, Dios mío, eso fue lo que cayó, ¿no?
Located in a
Con
town
el
called
huracán.
Arecibo. That's in Puerto Rico, by the way. That's why I'm talking about it.
O me confundo.
It's been in use for around 55 years, but it sadly collapsed in 2020.
Ah, yeah.
Like we all
Sí,
did.
sí, viste.
Number 40.
Ah, Dios mío.
Even though Puerto Ricans are American citizens, they can also receive Puerto Rican citizenship if they were born in Puerto Rico or if they've lived there for over a year. Number 41. Pirate Confretti is Puerto Rico's pirate version of Robin Hood, as he's a legendary pilot who gave his wins to the poor. He lived at some point between the 18th and 19th centuries, so the line between truth and myth is extremely blurry in his stories. The meaning of life. Even though World War II didn't take place in Puerto Rico, the US military fortified the island enough to be able to stand against an invasion. A lot of abandoned bunkers and military tanks are still there today. Number 43. To elaborate even further than that, around 2/3 of Puerto Rico acted as a US naval base for around 60 years. Since 2003, that land has become a number of wildlife reserves. Number 44. Both imperial and metric systems are used in Puerto Rico, which can make basic things a little bit more confusing. For example, distances are measured in kilometers, however the speed of many cars is measured in miles per hour.
Ay, Dios
Number
mío.
45. There are 78 counties in Puerto Rico. The counties are known as municipios, and they are all functioning governmental entities with their own mayor. Number 46. Puerto Rico has also provided some incredibly talented folk. These include Emmy, Grammy,
Ricky
Oscar, and
Martin.
Tony Award-winning Rita Moreno, Jose Ferrer, Benicio del Toro, Raul Julia, Daddy Yankee, and Luis Guzman. Joaquin...
¿Cómo no vas a mencionar a Ricky Martin? Ricky Martin era puertorriqueño, ¿no?
Phoenix
Bueno,
was
diciamo
also
che sì.
born in Puerto Rico, which I think says a lot about society. Number 47. The king of Latin pop, also known as Ricky Martin, is from Puerto Rico.
Ok, vale, lo stavo buscando.
He has sold over 70 million albums worldwide and was born in the nation's capital, San Juan. Living the vida indeed loca. Number 48. Festivals and celebrations regularly take place in Puerto Rico. One of the most popular is the Ay Bonito Flower Festival, where you can see huge floral displays, music and events that push the beauty of a wide range of flowers. Number 49. The national flower for Puerto Rico is the Flor de Maga, also known as the hibiscus. It comes from the Malvaceae family and can also be found in Florida, Hawaii, and most Caribbean islands. Number 50.
Okay.
Puerto Rico has the biggest pharmaceutical complex in the world in Barceloneta. One of the reasons for this is the water is so pure there it requires very little
Barceloneta!
treatment and can be used to manufacture pharmaceutical products. Number 51. If you don't know Barceloneta for that reason, you might know it for its famous black sand dunes. Must be a goth's favourite holiday destination.
Wow!
It's due to a high concentration of iron being within the sand.
¡Wow! Arena negra. Pero no soy muy amante de las playas, pero wow, arena negra. Wow.
On average, around 4 to 5 million people visit Puerto Rico's capital San Juan every year.
¿Cuántos?
52. On average, around 4 to 5 million people visit Puerto Rico's
4
capital
a
San
5
Juan every year,
millones.
which is
Wow.
more than the population of the entirety of Puerto Rico itself.
Sí, exacto.
Number 53.
Wow.
The national dish of Puerto Rico is arroz con gandules.
Me encanta, me encanta, me encanta. Y lo que me gustaba más, como cuando tú vas a un restaurante o cuando te invitan a alguien a comer a su casa, ¿no? Siempre te llevan como un plato y tiene todo, ¿no? Todo en ese plato. Acá tenés el arroz, acá tenés el pollo y acá las verduras. Es todo muy, muy meticuloso, si podemos decirlo, ¿no? Es muy diferente de acá en Europa que primero tenemos un plato donde ponemos ¿cómo se dice? La portada primaria, después vamos a tener la portada principal, que puede ser carne con verduras. No se hace mucho eso aquí, pero es muy bueno, ¿eh? Es el paraíso por la gente que no les gusta mucho limpiar muchos platos. Bueno, por fortuna tengo, tengo la lavadora de platos. ¿Cómo se llama en español? No sé, dishwasher. No sé cómo se dice en español, la verdad. Pero bueno, sí, por fortuna, porque si no, soy muy aragán.
And it's frequently eaten during different festivals. It's a rice dish made with gandules, otherwise known as pigeon peas.
Eso es diferente de lo que pensaba.
Which is a sauce made of garlic, onions, tomatoes, and peppers cooked in olive oil. Number 54. Since Puerto Rico is a US territory and not a state, people who live there don't have to pay income tax unless they work for the US government.
Eso es muy bueno, eso es muy
Puerto
bueno.
Rico has won 5 Miss Universe titles so far, making it among the top countries to have the most Miss Universe winners. I think next year is Sidonia's, I can feel it. Number 56. You may not have noticed, but Puerto Rico and Cuba's flags have identical colours. The only difference between the two is that the colours and triangle are reversed. Number 57. On Puerto Rico's seal is their motto, Johannes es nomen ejus. This is a quotation from the Vulgate of Luke in the Bible and means John is his name, referring to St. John the Baptist or San Juan Bautista, the original Spanish name of the island. Number 58. Castillo San Felipe del Morro, also known as El Morro, is a citadel in San Juan that was built between the 16th and 18th centuries. It's named after King Philip II of Spain. Number 59. Inside El Morro Citadel is Castillo San Cristobal, which was built in 1765 as a fortress to guard the city of San Juan from approaching enemies. It covers over 27 acres, making it the largest fortress made by the Spaniards in the New World. Number 60. The fortress also has 5 enormous cisterns outside that were used to store water back in ye olden days. They're frickin' enormous at 24 foot tall and 57 foot long. But what's really cool about them is that they were used as bomb shelters during the Second World War.
Me encantan las citadelas.
Number 61. Because of Castillo San Cristobal's rich history and grand structure, in addition to the more grand citadel of Castillo San Felipe del Morro, it was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983.
Bueno, claro, mira,
Number 62.
Mira lo bonito
Another
que
beautiful
está.
structure in Puerto Rico is the Governor's Mansion, which is known by 2 names, La Fortaleza and El Palacio de Santa Catalina. It was built in 1540 and has housed more than 170 governors of Puerto Rico during its history. Number 63. Before La Fortaleza was a mansion, it lived up to its name, which is The Fortress. It was remodeled and converted to the governor's house for full-time use back in 1846, after several attacks on the building which caused damage, particularly those by the Earl of Cumberland in 1598, and the Dutch commander Boudewijn Hendrik in 1625. Nintendo 64. There are multiple ceremonial plazas in the middle of the Caguana Indigenous Ceremonial Park in Utuado. It's a spot where important ceremonies, dance rituals, and ball games took place for the Taino people. Number 65. Now, the Taino people, as we mentioned earlier, were the indigenous people who lived in Puerto Rico before Christopher Columbus came along and, well, did his thing. As well as Puerto Rico, they also lived in Cuba, Jamaica.
Es increíble que todavía están esas razas de... Bueno, esas... Sí, razas es la palabra mejor para utilizar, pero sí, que todavía sobreviven esas etnias, ¿no? Es increíble porque, bueno, con el avento de los europeos en Sudamérica y Latinoamérica, por supuesto, también en América, ¿no? La verdad que muchos murieron. Muchos murieron y muchos, ¿cómo se dice? Que no sé si la palabra exacta es extinguieron. Pero sí, eso es muy triste, pero muy triste. Entonces, bueno que los taínos sigan vivos, que sigan, ¿cómo se dice? Como que sigan divulgando, esa es la palabra correcta, no sé, su cultura, ¿no? Que sigan con su cultura, que sigan, no sé, bueno, tengo que aprender más español, la concha de la lora.
Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and the Virgin Islands.
Divulging their culture.
Taino once had the highest population of indigenous peoples of the Caribbean, estimated to be up to 3 million people prior to the Spanish conquest. Not many survived the European invasion, but there are groups that strive for the restoration and affirmation of Taino culture, language, and religion. Number 67. Evidence of civilizations before them have also been found in the Centro Ceremonial Indígena de Tibes, or Tibet's Indigenous Ceremonial Center for us English-speaking folk,
¿En serio?
making it another important historic site in Puerto Rico. It has the
Wow.
largest indigenous cemetery discovered, with more than 186 human skeletons that date back to pre-Taino culture. Number 68. In order to control the population of reptiles in cane fields, Puerto Ricans imported mongoose, or mongoose, I guess, from India. Whatever they're called, they're reported to have caused more than $50 million worth of damage in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
Sea turtle. Speaking of reptiles, one of the largest living reptiles in the world was the leatherback sea turtle, which you can see on the Puerto Rican islands Viquez and Culebra. Number 17.
Culebra, sí.
In Puerto
eso
Rico,
mismo.
it's considered respectful to get close to someone and kiss them on the cheek during a conversation. Maybe avoid that at the moment, though, because, virus and stuff. I'm sure they won't mind after this is all gone. Number 71. Puerto Rico used to have a barkless dog. They were called the Jacebe, and like most other dogs, it was man's best friend. Other than...
Esa debería ser la raza de perros mejor del mundo, ¿no? La que deberían tener todos. Ay, Dios mío. Bueno, la verdad que a mí me gustan más los gatos porque son más, son más tranquilos, ¿no? Muchos perros te vuelven loco, especialmente cuando camino y siempre que no te das cuenta, ¿no? Están ahí. Ay, Dios mío, siempre que tengo... me da unas ganas de atacarlo, madre mía. Eso, un perro que no ladra. Wow, lo mejor. Me gustaría mucho más los perros si fuesen así.
And the domesticated parrot, the Jacebe was the main pet of the Tainos. Sadly, they ceased to exist not long after the arrival of the Spanish. Number 72. One-
¡Españoles de mierda! Es broma. Amo España. Amo España demasiado, No me cancelen.
One of the islands in Puerto Rico is the Isla de Mona, or Mona Island, which is known as the Galapagos of the Caribbean.
Mona.
The Mona iguana species native to the island are found no
Eso suena demasiado estúpido, porque realmente mona en un dialecto italiano significa estúpido. Es un poco divertido.
nowhere else in the world. Number 73. In case it wasn't clear from the amount we've talked about it so far, San Juan is the capital of Puerto Rico. I probably should have mentioned that earlier.
Eso lo sabía.
Well, now you know. Number 74. There are over 300 beaches in Puerto Rico, and the coastline stretches on for around 270 to 300 miles in total. Basically, if the Proclaimers did just under 2 laps of Puerto Rico, they'd have achieved walking their 500 miles. Let's just forget the other 500 more. Number 75. The Discovery Channel has praised Puerto Rico for having one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Playa Flamenco, or Flamenco Beach, is found on Culebra, an island just to the east of the mainland of Puerto Rico. It's a great location for diving or snorkeling due to the lovely clear waters, and is often voted the best beach in Puerto Rico. Number 76. Another popular beach is Gomez Beach, which is the perfect location for surfers as it has a range of constant waves, and is located on the northwest tip of Puerto Rico. It's also called Lighthouse Beach or Maria's Beach. Do you think there's somewhere with a Sam's Beach? Perhaps I could lay claim. Number 77. It's easy to fantasize about sipping a pina colada and a coconut on the beaches of Puerto Rico, but coconuts and palm trees aren't actually native to the place. They've been there so long and become so iconic, they might as well be. Number 78. The national tree for Puerto Rico is the saber tree. It has a huge umbrella-shaped canopy and reaches heights of over 150 feet. That's approximately 24 and a half of me on top of each other. What a party. Number 79. Puerto Rico's El Yunque is a national rainforest and is known for having the highest quality waters in Puerto Rico. Number 80. El Yunque gets its name from the Indian spirit Yukiu, which translates to the forest of clouds. Since its discovery as a national forest in 1876, it's been called one of the oldest reserves in the Western Hemisphere. Number 81. The Luquillo Mountains in El Yunque rise to above 3,533 feet above sea level. Its steep slopes receive rainfall of over 200 inches, so it's wet and big, and that's all I'll say on the matter for now. Number 82. 8 major rivers in Puerto Rico originate from El Yunque, and for this reason it supplies water to 20% of the island's population. Furthermore, there are over 240 tree species and 150 fern species that can be found in El Yunque. Number 83. In El Yunque, it's known to rain frogs. Yep, you heard, rains
Oh
frogs.
my god, eso... ¡Ah! Es muy raro eso. ¿Qué es eso? Wow.
When there's a high amount of humidity, the coqui frog climbs canopies up to 30 meters high in order to escape from predators. Then, instead of taking the normal way down, they launch
Wow. ¿Cuántos
30
metros?
meters high.
30 metros de altura. Wow. Dios mío. Eso es increíble.
In order to escape from predators. Then, instead of taking the normal way down, they launch themselves into the air and bypass their predators, so watch out for frogs.
Parece la rana de Harry Potter con el chocolate arriba.
Number 84. Since Puerto Rico is an island, you can get there via both air and sea. There are around 1,300 non-stop weekly flights, as well as 1,000 direct ones. I'm not sure what the difference between those two is, but that's what travel experts say. Number 85.
Precio,
Puerto
probablemente.
Rico has quite a tropical climate, with the coldest month being January, with temperatures of approximately 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 degrees Celsius. The average high summer temperature is around 85 degrees Fahrenheit or 29 degrees Celsius. Basically, it's the perfect temperature all year round. None of this freezing grey British weather. Number 86.
Bueno, cuando yo fui era diciembre y era muy caliente, pero muy caliente. Era mucho más de 29, era como 32, 33 la mayoría de las veces.
A number of animals that are nearly extinct can be found within Puerto Rico. The Puerto Rican parrot is in the top 10 most endangered species of birds in the world, and it can be found, yes, within Puerto Rico, in the upper zones of the Liquillo Mountains. Number 87. Other endangered Puerto Rican animals include the Puerto Rican crested toad, various different subspecies of skink, and yes, that's not a typo, I did say skink, and lots of different frogs like the golden coqui, the stream coqui, the locust coqui, and the Inoda coqui, all of which can only be found in Puerto Rico. Number 88. The national bird of Puerto Rico is the Puerto Rican spindle. They are widely spread around the island and support the ecosystem by helping to disperse seeds and therefore helping in plant reproduction. Thanks, guys. Number 89. As there are over 18.8 miles of road and 24 miles of trail running or walking in the forest, it's a great place for both the adventurous and those just looking to enjoy the beauty of the rainforest. Just make sure you're wearing some comfy shoes. Number 90.
Increíble.
In terms of size, Puerto Rico is 100 to 110 miles long, 35 miles wide, and in total covers 3,515 square miles. That's a bit smaller than Cyprus, which is, to compare it to something American, 3 times smaller than Rhode Island. Number 91. Cerro de Punta is the highest peak of Puerto Rico, at 1,338 meters above sea level. It's right on the borders of the municipalities of Jayuya and Ponce, and is part of the Toro Negro Forest Reserve. Apparently from this point you can see almost the whole island, including San Juan, which is 75 miles away. Number 92.
Wow.
Cavernas de Rio Camoy is the largest cave in the Western
Increíble.
Hemisphere. With a size that stretches for over 286 acres, it's also the third largest cave in the world. Number 93.
Wow.
The Camoy River, or Rio Camoy, is the third largest underground river in the world.
Mira
This
la
river
vista
helped
que
to shape
tenés
the caverns and caves I
allí.
just mentioned, and because of its incredible size, only a fraction of the caves have been fully mapped and discovered. Number 94. Rio de la Plata, or the Plata River, is the longest river in Puerto Rico at a whopping 46 miles, or 76 kilometers long. It's on the north coast of the island, flowing south to north, draining into the Atlantic Ocean. Number 95. Here's a new word for you today, bioluminescence. Simply put, bioluminescence is a light emitted by organisms, and the brightest bioluminescent in the world is at Mosquito Bay in Puerto Rico. The microscopic plankton organisms in the water react with a blue-green glowing light when touched.
Wow,
Number
me
96.
encantan esas
Other than
cosas.
Mosquito Bay, Puerto Rico has 2 other bioluminescent bays, Cabezas de San Juan
Wow.
and La Parguera. So if one of them's crowded, just go to the other one. Number 97. The deepest part of the Atlantic Ocean is the Milwaukee Deep, which is around 8,380 meters deep and lies in the northwest of Puerto Rico in the
Tengo
Puerto Rican
miedo.
Trench. I don't want to think any more about it because the deep sea terrifies me. How do we not know what's down
Yo
there?
también
Number
soy
98. If you thought the Statue of
terrorizado
Liberty is
de eso.
huge, you're right, it is massive. But Puerto Rico has a statue of Christopher Columbus that's much taller, at 350 feet. The statue is called Birth of a New World. Eat that, libs. It's in the Statue of Liberty, not liberal people.
Wow.
Number 99. Several streets in Puerto Rico are paved with blue cobblestones called adoquines. They were made from the use of waste, or slag, that resulted from iron smelting. You can run into a number of beautiful streets like this in Puerto Rico. Number
Wow, es
100.
increíble.
Ponce, named after Columbus's Lieutenant Juan Ponce de Leon, is another major city in Puerto Rico. It's also known as La Perla del Sur, which means Pearl of the South. There's loads of government stuff there, including US federal government agencies. Number 101. If you've got a sweet tooth, you'll be glad to know that the most sugarcane plantations are found in Ponce. That's where to go if you want a bit of a sugar rush, as if listening to my sweet, sweet voice for these past 27 minutes wasn't enough sweet for you. So those were 100 more facts about Puerto Rico. Are you watching from there? Have you been there before? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're
Sí, he ido a Puerto Rico antes, pero fue hace mucho tiempo, no me acuerdo mucho. Y quiero volver, quiero volver. La verdad que es uno de los lugares más baratos para ir desde Europa, creo, porque como siendo territorio de Estados Unidos, es un poco más barato que ir a otros lugares. Me encantó, la verdad que quiero volver. Muchas cosas que he visto en este video no lo había visto allá, bueno. Me encantaría demasiado. Por favor, si hay más cosas que no fueron mencionadas en el video, escríbemela. Si tenés más recomendaciones por saber más cosas sobre Puerto Rico, sobre esta bonita isla o archipiélago, como dijo él, por favor, hazlo también. Espero que os haya gustado mi reacción. Nos vemos a la próxima vez. ¡Chao!